If you're new here, I'm Arwa, and this is Will. We've been traveling and camping out of our cars for as long as I can remember. We've squeezed in trips to the mountains whenever we could, but finally we made a decision to live on the road full time. We saved every dollar we could and drove a total of 16 hours to buy what would be our future home on wheels. We bought it! Oh my gosh! The plan wasn't always to buy a school bus, but that's what ended up happening. And at the time, we definitely had no regrets. The first order of business was to get supplies for what would be the craziest and most challenging project we've ever taken on.
Got it?
Yep. So this is the inside of our bus. This is how we originally got it. The owners wanted to convert it into a t-shirt business of some sort, so that's what these shelves bolted in. We're gonna rip up this flooring and start from scratch. Got some paint on the walls that we're gonna have to take out, but this is the inside. It's just a classic bus. The very first phase was the demolition, and I have a lot to say about what this did to me emotionally, but essentially we had to take out and remove anything you could lay eyes on, and also everything behind that, and everything under that, and so on. We planned on re-insulating it ourselves, treating any rust, and basically just starting off with a clean slate. Here we were removing the rubber flooring, which at the time we thought was the only thing we had to remove from the floor, till we realized there was a layer of plywood we also had to take out. This was kind of the beginning of one of the biggest lessons I learned from this whole experience, and that is things never go according to plan. So today, we're going to try and get this plywood up. I feel as though the plywood might be easier. Crossing my fingers, because I think we have some techniques from yesterday to get all the rusty screws out. Hopefully things go better today. We had days and days of constant rainstorms. At the time, it kind of bummed me out as if it was an obstacle to the build, but looking back, I'm so grateful for it. It definitely cooled us off from the heat wave that is summer in the south.
Need help?
The floors were so incredibly rusty after we lifted up the subfloor, which I guess I kind of expected, but it was definitely a shock of how much. But I was super confident that I could remove all of the surface rust and eventually rust convert what was left. So I was hitting the floors with a wire brush at this one spot. The floor just fell through. So now there's kind of a medium-sized hole in our floor. Hoping we can patch that up. Prior to this, we had zero experience with anything handy related. I had never even used a drill before this, so to become electricians, plumbers, carpenters, and mechanics within a matter of weeks seemed nearly impossible. But that's where another lesson sprouted. You don't always have to know everything to get started. You always hear that quote that the hardest part of any endeavor is just getting started, and I can't even express how true this was in context to this chapter of my life. I could have easily convinced myself that a rookie like me could never take on a project like this, that I needed the nicest tools, a lot of money, loads of experience, and that it wouldn't even turn out that nice in the end. It's really interesting when you actually start putting action towards your dreams, and then you listen to the limiting beliefs and the chatter that your mind makes up, and you back down because you believe what it's saying. I'm not at all saying I wasn't scared and stressed out and that this was easy by any means. This was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but in no way should that discourage you, because it's also the most I've ever learned about myself or the world, and a creation I'm so unbelievably proud of. Your mind and your ego are only ever trying to protect you. Change can even be viewed as a threat, but how can we ever evolve if we don't seek change? Today we're going to be taking out our rear heater in the bus. What?
Nothing.
You scared me.
Okay, there is still coolant in that line, but... Oh.
Wait, is it cut?
Yeah.
Both of them are cut? Perfect.
That's it. These are the clamps from the heater.
We are officially done the demo.
Pretty much. Yeah.
After like 2 weeks, when we thought it would be one day. Isn't that crazy? We thought it'd be one day. Wow. It is so hot here. We had consistent rain every day for about 2 weeks straight, and actually it was really nice because we had a breeze while we were taking down the walls and whatnot, but now the sun is back and it is hot. But this officially marks the end of the demo phase. I'm so happy. It has just been so physically and mentally exhausting, on top of all the housework I've had to keep up with, along with Will. We've split everything. We're really good about that, but we both just felt so overwhelmed because we're taking care of a whole other life on top of dedicating all our time to a new reality, this new dream. So it's been a lot, and it just didn't feel exactly like it was working out, because every time we came in here to work on the bus, it was just so hard, and we were like, it shouldn't be this hard. But I think we put this expectation around it, especially I did, that it would just be like easy and we would just be cutting up wood, and it's been a lot harder than that. So hopefully we've gotten past the physically demanding part. I think it'll get easier from here on out because we're going to be hopefully managing wood and wires rather than ripping out sheet metal. The floors have finally dried and this bus is officially ready to get stuff put into it. I thought we would be at this point prepping for the subfloor on day 2. I was really humbled during the demolition process. I think it taught me a lot about patience, and it was bringing up a lot of limiting beliefs and self-doubt that I didn't even know I was carrying. So this bus is already teaching me so much about myself. But now I'm so excited. I wake up and I'm so excited to get started, and even the painting and staining was so much fun for me. I just love that stuff. I've always loved art and painting and creating, and this whole bus is going to be pure creation. And now that's starting to scare me because I'm looking ahead at all the projects that me and Will are going to have to do by hand. Never made a cabinet or drawer before, never even screwed 2 pieces of wood together. So I'm gonna try and tackle the subfloor. Hopefully today I might have to go to the hardware store and pick up some stuff. There might be a long road ahead, but I think I need to give myself permission to make some pit stops.
The first step to the subfloor was laying down insulation, and I don't know why I thought this would be easy. This was the first of many instances where I had to cut and measure very odd pieces because the bus has a really unique shape. Nothing is ever square or straight, it's all rounded, and you have to work around a lot of metal structures that are odd looking. So that's where it differs greatly from a van, for example. But let's just say I had to recut and remeasure a lot, and even then things still didn't fit.
I think it's too big again.
This seemed to be a recurring problem for me, so maybe it was just my measurements, or maybe it was the 100-degree weather getting to my head, but nonetheless, every completed project felt like such a triumph.
It's finally done! Insulation is in, at least for the floors.
Will had to take a trip to California for helicopter rescue swimmer training, and he did really well, so I wanted to bake him a welcome home / congratulations cake. And you guys, I'm telling you, the secret to an amazing chocolate cake is coffee. It makes it so flavorful and super moist. I kind of hate that word, but it's true. You will just never go back once you try it. I used an instant coffee. I've heard a small amount of espresso works too, and at first your dough will seem a bit thick once you combine your wet and dry ingredients, but once you add in half a cup of coffee at a time, it just makes it so creamy and so rich. I actually used to hate chocolate. I've come to love it in cakes or cookies, but it has to be a light chocolate. If it's a dark chocolate brownie, I just can't do it for some reason. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I decided to do a 2-tier cake. I also went with a chocolate cream cheese frosting. I had to force myself not to eat any, so I had enough for the cake, but I just threw on the first layer. I added the top tier of the cake, and I finished the frosting up just in time to pick him up.
Big slice.
That's more.
One of the hardest things about this build for me was just not having any help or an extra set of hands. Will didn't work from home, so when he got back, he would start on his projects.
Oh boy, this is hard. Too far in now.
But that meant I was all alone majority of the day and had to lift super heavy materials into the bus and screw and nail things with one hand and just overall figure out everything for myself.
This was heavy and difficult.
Looking back, one of the number one things I should have done was buy or make a wood cutting table. My back definitely suffered the consequences, and it probably was overall super dangerous, so don't do what I did here. But I was just working with what I had, and that was enough for me at the time. I do feel like I was really naive with protection revolving around construction, and moving forward, I most definitely would do a lot of things differently. But that's the beauty of being a human. You just constantly keep on evolving.
We have stairs.
This week we're building our roof deck. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Just dope. I'm pretty shocked with how well the floor turned out. I was off on a lot of the measurements, but my goal was to just get them in, and I'm pretty happy with the outcome. And it finally smells like wood in here. It's been smelling like metal and glue, even foam, for so long. Now it smells like some good old plywood.
Yep. Got it. I think the spot selection is.
Cut it off.
Yeah, we don't need it.
Wait, we don't have it in.
We need the sound first.
I was like, this feels weird.
Yeah. It's okay.
You're crazy.
Alright, after you.
So scared.
This wire doesn't feel like that. Dang!
There's so many left. So today the plan is to finish the ceiling framing, hopefully once and for all. And that means I have to cut about 200 more of these. I don't know if I can ever look at another 2x2 after this. The ceiling has been extra difficult because of the curvature of the ribs, so I have to go in and get very exact measurements. But I'm so excited to be in the phase of putting in wood and not ripping out metal, as I've said so many times. It's coming along.
Summer in the South is absolutely no joke. It most definitely felt like we were doing construction work in a sauna.
So hot.
I definitely had my moments of frustration and doubt throughout this whole process.
Come on. Damn it. There's always something wrong. Ah. Ah. bus life, mess up, and then do it again.
Besides the learning curve, physical demands, and difficulty building things on my own, there was a looming deadline to get this entire project done within 4 months. If I didn't know how to do something, I either had to wing it or figure it out in a very short time period because there wasn't an abundance of room for trial and error. I will admit that this pressure for sure made me focus in and get things done, but if I had to do this all over again, I would have given myself the space to slow down and take my time. But then again, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Perhaps I would have lost motivation or slowly stopped putting in effort if I had all the time in the world. Time is so precious, and we only have so much of it.
I can do it for you. Whatever, we'll just test it out.
Here I built some wheel well boxes, and the bus was officially framed out and ready to be made into a house. It's a complete blank canvas, and it took a long time to get to this point, a lot longer than I expected.
It's all you.
Make sure to tune in to next week's video to see all the challenges and the highs that we faced as we pieced together, bit by bit, the home of our dreams and watched it come to life. Thank you so much for watching this, and I hope you enjoy the journey as much as we did.